right, welcome back. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, our final game of the day here, our final game of the first round here for the Dota 2 Champions League, season number 11. After this, we'll know our quarterfinals and advancing forward again. After this, it will be best of 3. Still single elimination, but best of 3 moving forward. This being our final best of 1, though. And we have two teams going at it, Prodota Gaming versus TeamEnt. We'll call them over here. Again, Prodota, the favorites, no doubt. This is a team that one of the open qualifier teams out of the European region recently for the Kiev Major Regional for the European region, as I said there. Anyways, they won a couple of games in the regionals, did all right, but as you would expect from an open team, ultimately coming out on the lower end, but still an up-and-coming team, definitely one to look out for. Would be the favorites with all this said, but as we've seen in this Dota 2 Champions League so far, that doesn't mean anything. I mean, I'm not expecting that. I'm expecting a good match and hopefully a fun one at that. I'm Breaking CBK, joined by Z-Rock once again. Z-Rock, here we are, final game of the day now.
Here we are indeed. And yeah, I mean, if you look at the Kiev qualifiers, I think the only open team that even made playoffs out of every region was Complexity. Call them an open team was a struggle.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm not going to put too much weight in the fact that, yeah, they didn't necessarily perform the qualifier there. But in these best of ones, we've literally seen any team win. The big thing I'd like to note here, though, is Prodota did take a little while to get into the lobby. They are also missing Come With Me right now. Looks like they're having Pablo stand in. So, not their normal 5-man roster. And in a best of one, you don't know what kind of repercussions that's going to have.
That's a good point. Yeah, Come With Me, most noticeably known for, he had a couple of games there. He played that Wisp, actually, pretty well for Prodota. So, don't have that impact or that presence there. And, yeah, always bringing in a ringer could definitely kind of throw off some synergy. Pablo, I believe he's from the former Horde team, who is no longer a team, of course, as of yesterday. Aki officially announcing that they dropped the team. So, we'll see where those players end up. We saw Excalibur yesterday ring in for another team. So, going to be interesting to see, again, where that all ends up for them. But Earth Spirit and Darkseer is how Prodota will start after the slot, our first pick here for TeamEnt.
Yeah, the Darkseer is one of those hit-or-miss picks. When it's good in a meta, it's very good. But if it lacks lane pressure, if it can't do anything in the early game, it tends to kind of fall flat. So we'll have to see. Ent getting what was arguably the strongest 2-hero open prior to this patch with Slaughter and Lone Druid. And it should force out a Lifestealer ban out of Prodota here. It's a hero that lanes pretty well into Darkseer, and one that you really just don't want to give a team that already has a Slaughter.
5 seconds.
The Lone Druid here, obviously a strong start for TeamEnt, and saw Lone Druid earlier on in the day, our first match, I believe. In fact, with that Lifestealer, it did come out on the losing end, but still, not saying that really means too much there. Lone Druid in general, very powerful. Shadow Shaman, banner right there, so how about that?
Oh, I mean, I think it could be starting to make a comeback. We'll see. We'll see if it keeps pulling bans, but we'll have to see if they watch the earlier game, because I do think Sniper is definitely worthy of a ban if you are Ent here. We saw how strong it was against Lone Druid, especially when coupled with roaming support. In that game we watched earlier, it was an Earthshaker, but the Earth Spirit would fill pretty much the same role.
Yeah. An
easy roam that helps set up the shrapnel kills. So I definitely think that could be their other ban. I think it probably should be their other ban. Awesome. And Prodota, Magnus ban, not a Lifestealer yet.
Yeah, you like that Lifestealer idea, and I'm sure that's kind of running through their head here, but they're not, they're taking time at least. Okay, they are going to go with it in the end.
And they didn't burn any real reserve time on it, so maybe talking about later stages in the draft, knowing it was going to be the ban and kind of working out where they want to go from here. With that Ember Spirit ban, though, it does leave, I mean, for mids, both Sniper and Shadow Fiend both made it through. I don't think we saw a game where those two weren't picked up or banned in the first 2 phases, so we'll have to see if that changes.
Knowing Mickey, he doesn't feel like a Sniper player to me.
Oh, yeah, it's your Han boy.
Yeah, my Han boy's over here. We got Mickey and Insania, of course, great players here, and they've definitely risen up the ranks pretty quickly in the Dota 2 scene now. He's a much more of an aggressive player. I mean, not to say they're not going to pick it up, because as you pointed out, it could be strong here as far as strategy goes. But again, it just doesn't feel like his kind of hero. Shadow Fiend maybe, but yeah, I'm going to guess we're not going to see a Sniper, if anything, because of that alone. But they will get Crystal Maiden here with their 3rd pick instead. They did, Rubik's on the board, and actually, speaking of Insane, he loves to play Rubik. That's his most played by far. Surprised they passed it up here, though.
Dire team pick.
Yeah, I mean, we saw what can happen if you have Earth Spirit Rubik in the last game. They really don't quite have enough damage if the game does run long, and Darkseer isn't going to help that. That hero does very little in terms of raw damage output. So maybe thinking CM is just going to
10
give a little
seconds
more
remaining.
damage presence to him and a little more scalability.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, obviously justifying that support option there instead. And expecting Insane is going to be the one
Reserve
playing
time.
that Earth Spirit. Perhaps in the hands of Pablo here. Vice versa, obviously with the Ringer, you never really know for sure. But now that fourth pick, will it be the mid or will it be their short lane?
Well, let's play the betting game. Who's going to pick Jug first? Because I feel like that's an inevitability at this point in the patch.
I think it's Prodota. I think Garter's going to get it here.
Yeah, that would seem reasonable. It's a relative nightmare to lane at mid, so while I feel like that could be something Mickey could play and would be aggressive enough for him and like be in his theme, it's so miserable in dual 100, especially once he gets root. So
Yeah.
we'll have to see.
Well, they are thinking about this quite a bit, but yeah, no doubt a core that really stands out. Now, again, going back to Mickey here as far as what he could be playing, I mean, Invoker is still on the board. Kind of feels like more like Quap even is something that I could see him playing. Quap has kind of died off a bit here, but
Yeah, it almost feels like it's been kind of replaced by Lena.
yeah,
I think I don't know. I want to see like if this draft keeps looking this way from Nth, where it's mostly pick off heavy, single targety, that kind of stuff. I want to see a PL.
Phantom Assassin.
Ooh, that's a good flex pick. It
Radiant
could go
team
mid. It could go safe lane. The PA is very very versatile here in this.
Dire team ban.
pretty quick pick with the Omni Knight there in response.
They're building a juggernaut type lineup here on Nth where they've got Corrosive Haze to do extra
Radiant
damage.
team
You've got Ogre for Bloodlust and Omni Knight for the saves. It's very very, I guess, defensive and peel oriented, and it's going to be around hopefully two different sources of damage. If they just try to rely on the Sloan Druid, if they do pick him off, if
10
Prodota manages to
seconds
catch him out,
remaining.
they're not going to do much. So Nth's last pick needs to be another damage threat
Radiant
here.
team
I
pick.
think Jug is still a reasonable option, but it does make them very, very melee heavy into a
Yeah.
Darkseer, which can be very...
That was my obvious concern. Yeah, as you mentioned, the Juggernaut there, kind of looking at the scores and the lineup even. Yeah, the melee presence would be very heavy.
10 seconds
As you see the ban
remaining.
on Weaver there for Prodota, that definitely could have been a solid option. So
5
nice takeaway
seconds
there
remaining.
instead. So will it be maybe a little more unorthodox of a carry? But I'm trying to think of the
Reserve
list right
time.
here. Maybe some range carry presence that would be good in the short lane.
There's really not a lot. I mean, yeah, the Weaver was a good option. Maybe they could look to go something like a Clinks, but it just gets destroyed by a PA once she gets a couple items.
What about like a Troll, actually? Short lane Troll here for the Miss and Phantom Assassin. And
You still have to have a way to hit PA, and that's where they're
Yeah.
going to struggle. I wouldn't even mind seeing Lone Druid being ran as a carry, and then you pick a more nuke heavy middle, like a Quap or a Lena or something. But
okay.
it's just I don't really like this draft so far out of Enta. Ghost Scepter does work against this team in general, and I think Ogre Omni, like, that's got to be a support slaughter more than likely. It'll be an offlane Omni Knight, and we've seen how late support slaughters can get their blink. Like, we've seen games where it's 17, 18 minutes before it comes in, and it just doesn't feel like it does much once you get it that late.
Well, they're going to use all the reserve time to think about this and decide what they want here. Again, best of one, so don't have room for error. You got to be confident with your draft, and so far, seem a little shaky on it. So this final pick kind of changes the mindset, but
10
Seeming,
seconds remaining.
seeming fairly difficult unless something completely unorthodox comes out. Terrorblade.
So that does fit the bill for another hero that does a ton of damage that you can use these three support E heroes to protect. So I like it as a pick. I don't think the draft is very balanced or well-rounded, but it does do plenty of damage and fits the bill for what I was saying they needed.
10 seconds remaining.
So now, again, the final pick, you're getting a Phantom Assassin, could either be the mid or the
5
short
seconds
lane
remaining.
right here. So we'll get the obvious information here with the final pick
Reserve
now, but
time.
I'm saying Quap, man. I'm sticking to it. I'm going to say Quap. Be great
Well,
if
it
you
can't be an Abaddon, so
Can't be an Abaddon. You are right there.
that game will be forever burned into my memory.
Quap or Invoker? One of the two.
I could see Invoker. I think Invoker would be more than reasonable here.
We're a little more typical,
10
yeah.
seconds remaining.
And there's Kalina,
There you go, Lena. Okay.
the better co-op.
That's what you're suggesting, yeah. No, the better co-op even. Now, getting those buffs here. Okay, what did she get buffed by? I know it was like her talent tree here.
The biggest thing was the level 10 light strike array damage talent.
Okay.
It makes it so she can clear waves with just those 2 skills. Usually she had to go Aether Lens to do that. And not going the Aether and getting that talent means she can just start spam clearing waves at 10, which is nice. And opens up more item flexibility, I guess. Because the problem with Lena is you want so many different items. You want a Blink or a Shadow Blade, and you want an Ags or an Aether Lens, and you want a Yules. And once you got to like 2 items, your item progression usually just stopped on Lena. Like it was so hard to get past that point.
10 seconds
And
remaining.
so the idea is this level 10 talent giving you wave clear again, lets you
5
farm faster,
seconds
which lets you push
remaining.
faster, and then you get more items. I mean, I haven't gotten to see many games where it's been executed yet in this patch, but the theory behind it's sound.
It is nice AoE clear, of course, yeah, for that Terra Blade as well, so will be beneficial. Again, it's going to be interesting with the Omni Knight with that Repel coming into play, but they do have a nice mix now, that physical and magic damage here on the side of Prodota. So here we go. Final game kicking off here. Prodota versus TeamEnt. Best of 1. Love that new animation there.
I swear it's like a fighting game. It says Marvel
Feels
versus
like
Capcom
it, man.
or something.
It's just good. It's just now I'm so
Prepare
hyped,
for
ready to go
battle.
in. Already pretty hyped. Now I'm just that much more. See these early wards going down. So hyped on the wards. Our Spirit will get an aggressive ward here at the top lane. Not going to be seen doing so. Omni Knight scouting with that smoke, but unable to spot anyone out. Meanwhile, the mid ward placed by TeamEnt here on the shrine area. Get some good information. As far as the lanes go, though, I don't think we're going to see anything too radical here. Pretty typical stuff. The off-lane Darks here. Is Darks are going to be accompanied by anyone, you think, or are they going to run a defensive tri-lane?
I think it's definitely going to be defensive. You don't want to risk. Like we saw in the last game, aggro tri lanes, even
30
getting
seconds
kills
to
can
battle.
just be disastrous because of what you lose. You need your CM to be able to sneak off in jungle a level or 2. You need your Earth Spirit to be able to roam. So I even though you could maybe apply some pressure to the Terrorblade, you're giving up way too much in your overall game plan.
Yeah. All right, so the bounty rune control are going to be pretty even on either side. Going to be even.
It's going to be a
for that matter.
mid TB.
Oh, it is? Okay, well, that's
This
a little
is-
different.
Gonna
The
be
battle
bad.
begins.
Like Lena should just bully the hell out of this guy.
Huh. Yeah,
This
you're right.
should
They are
make my
sending
life
TV
easier.
mid. So, I mean, why? What's the logic here, we think? Because is Lone Druid bad against Lena, too? I mean, I figure Lone Druid being the range, if anything, obviously would be that much better. But they figure maybe with Ogre being here, that's going to be enough of a difference to get Terrorblade farm, perhaps. And to be fair, at the bottom lane, Terrorblade dealing with the Darks here would have been annoying.
I don't think it's going to be enough pressure. Like, even if you would run it to Lena, you maybe get a wave or 2 of the farm for TB, but you can't split experience. You got to get your TB's levels here.
Love this Lena skin, by the way. Land another LSA right there, and yeah, it's Mickey's on top of keeping up the harassment, that's for sure. Putting in the auto attacks constantly. NRS here middle lane. Ogre Magi gonna be caught by the LSA, actually, and that's the first blood. He was just running in as an Ogre usually does, and looking to apply the Ignite, apply some auto attacks, but he landed the LSA and the turn from Earth Spirit.
Denied.
First blood.
Very, very nicely done from your Spirit. They punish the Ogre sitting middle heavily, and don't leech too much experience off of Mickey, and that's huge. Because the Lena's now got a very, very large advantage going into this, and the Earth Spirit picked up boots.
Movement kicking in, so Vintage here on Terrorblade, as expected, is having a little bit rough of a start. Really keep an eye on how that continues, especially with Ogre now coming back to the middle lane, but you got top lane Garter essentially is having ideally free farm. I mean, so far only 3-1 actually, so having a little bit of issue, but now Omni Knight could be in some trouble. Purification on cooldown, does have Repel if needed. Just gonna walk it off though.
Not your destiny.
So he'll be fine. But Darkseer, he's going to have a pretty good farm down here, it seems like. He's already 11-0, making use of the Iron Shell. So good news for Prodota across the board. It seems like all 3 lanes are overall going pretty decent here.
Yeah, definitely a good start.
Okay, again, just throwing off that LSA very aggressively. Has the bottle, has enough gold to purchase the bottle, that is. Good delivered right here. Gonna pop the shrine first, though. God, as a mid player, it's like crazy to think. Like 3 months ago, this wasn't possible. And all of a sudden, there's a shrine here. You just go to it, you know, you refresh and go right back. It's gotta be such a good feeling. I don't play much mid myself, but I imagine as a mid player, feels pretty good.
Yeah, it really
Having
does.
that option.
And it would have been a little better if he had managed to pick the kill up instead of giving it out to Earth Spirit. It's really nice for Earth Spirit to get boots right away to start the game off, but getting your mid laner snowballed and a little bit further ahead, that's huge. But another roam comes in here. Can they turn another one around?
He lands the LSA. There's the boulder smash. The LSA on top of it, so the setup's done perfect. Down goes Ogre matchup, but now Mickey in response. Oh, the Sal gonna barely, or the bottle charges. Keeping him alive now on top of that. He's going to go for the turn on a Terrorblade, and that's a double kill for Mickey. Mickey and Pablo. What a duo right here in the middle lane.
Wow. Like, the timing on that was insane.
Yeah.
The salve survived one auto, and then the bottle survived the next. And really just disaster for Ent here to start the game. This is not the start you want to have.
He's running in, but of course Metamorphosis now on cooldown here for Terrorblade, so having to worry about that. And then Mickey, you know, dropping the bottle right there, sending it right back to the fountain, actually. Gonna fill it on up and send it right back to him. So the timing really was perfect. Gonna have even more regen on top of that coming back in. I think working out so well here as a 4-minute timer coming in here. That means a 4-minute bounty rune, or rune that is in general. And we'll see the bottom lane. It's going to be top, actually, so Terrorblade. We'll get that illusion rune here. Minor victory for the Terrorblade, at least.
It would be if you could do anything with it. I mean, it's a melee Terrorblade with no bottle.
They can take it away from Lena, and that's a victory.
True, true.
Bottom lane, man, they're just playing this aggressive. Earth Spirit has that Iron Shell on him, and he's going to pull the creep wave here even. He tried to roll on a Lone Druid, but wasn't able to connect. So instead,
yeah, and both carries kind of just free farming away right now. But the Darkseer is the huge winner here. Omni Knight is 6 CS compared to the 26 on Darkseer. So huge CS differential in the off lanes, and could be very, very punishing.
Oh, Mickey's going to live again! Oh, man, that LSA, the Dragon Slave, and the turn kill on his Slaughter is real. Oh, boy. That was a 3-man gank. The Slaughter coming in the flank. And he lives too? And Earth Spirit's going to live as well. Jesus. He's not going to be able to chase him. Yeah, no mana.
This game was a total of about 100 health away from like 4 to 5 instead of 5 to 0. But, man, just the small edges.
All those big plays coming out, and Prodota thus has a pretty hefty lead here. At only 5.5 minutes even into this game. I mean, I'm looking at the net worth chart. Yeah, look at that. This is over a 3,000 net worth lead at 5.5 minutes. And it's not like a massive tower push strat or anything. And this is just simply, as Mickey again, is that level 6? Yeah. Look, I went away from him as he was just running up right there, not thinking anything of it. And sure enough, he pops a Laguna Blade.
And if you look at how broke this Terrorblade is, all he's gotten since the start of the game was finishing his poor man's, boots, and a raindrop. He's gotten 0 essential items at all. And the raindrop is just a attempt to curb this disaster, because right now Lena could actually just give him with QR. Like, wouldn't even need to W him. So you have to buy that raindrop to even try to survive the lane. Yeah, this is a disaster.
Arcane Boots now finished on Lena as well, porting back to the middle lane. So again, the start just continuing to be very effective for him. Darkseer also doing well here at the bottom lane. He is actually net worth-wise out farming the Lone Druid currently. They're pretty even, if anything, but yeah, that in itself is a victory for Prodota. And then the top lane, of course, Phantom Assassin. Looks like we're going to see the Vlad's pick up on a Garter here as his priority item. Makes sense to you?
Yeah, I like it. I mean, it's pretty standard. The only thing that's a little bit off about this is not going a Blightstone in lane. Normally, it's generally what you do just because it's such a massive damage boost for VA. But with this kind of lead, I don't think it matters what they go.
This Terrorblade, it just continues. And actually, Ogre's going to fall too. It just
But
doesn't
they
stop.
get on the board. They get on the board.
Minor victories. Oh, if that LSA lands, that's another kill. Jeez. This is how Mickey is such a playmaker, and you give him a hero like this in the Lina. He's going to make the plays, or at least try to. He's not afraid to go yellow.
Radiant's middle tower.
Seeing that here.
Yeah,
quite a
no, he
bit.
really isn't. And he's playing these edges insanely well. Diving when it's appropriate, playing really well under his own tower. Super well done so far.
Radiant's middle tower.
Top lane Omni Knight kind of starting to push it out here a little bit, as does that bottom lane. Jeez, they just dived the wall used from Cheshire Cat. Now with Earth Spirit being here, set up the kill on a Lone Druid. So
Radiant's bottom tower is
kills
under
continue,
attack.
9-1 now in favor of Prodota. Back to the top lane. Yep, Garda going to take some heavy pressure from Omni Knight. Not enough for a kill though, and he's going back in even. Kind of tempting fate right there a little bit. Not feeling pretty comfortable, but this Luna. What do we think, Lina, excuse me. What do we think she's going to be getting early on, especially with the start here?
She could go any direction ever, honestly. There's kind of two lines of thinking when you're this ahead on Lina. You could either go with something like an early Blink or a Shadow Blade or a Yule's like a positioning item to set the ult up. The old build we saw that was strong for a while was actually rushing a Bloodstone, just because it makes you so tanky and hard to go on that you can kind of just be this turret throwing down spells and auto-attacking with the Fiery Soul passive. And the nice part about Bloodstone is that extra HP means she's not going to feed away this huge kill streak she has. Like that's the risk, right? When you get this kind of a lead early, if TB would happen to pick up a kill or two on Mickey in a row, all of a sudden they're back in the game. So there can be some merit saying to go for a defensive item or two just to make sure you don't die.
Ooh, that Omni Knight being there saves the day on a Terror Blade. That was a sure kill. Still might be a kill. Look at him. He set it right before, and he still goes down right there. Omni Knight also going to end up falling most likely. The auto text is pending into him. He doesn't have any cooldowns ready. He too will fall. Oh, that Sunder timing was just, I mean, it was great. It healed him to basically full life, and then he still just got bursted down after the fact. That Laguna Blade dude's doing so much damage this early on especially. 450 magic damage is a lot.
Yeah, this is 100% Lina's biggest power spike in the game. Absolutely an absurd amount of damage, and picking up the Aether Lens extends that power spike even longer. It lets her cast Light Strike away from Fog in a lot of situations, which is pretty big, and ups the amount of damage she does, so a pickup to extend your lead here, for sure.
There's a monster kill streak coming up. We're just going to throw another one in here. Will he get the last hit? Probably. The Dragon Slave. Yep, double kill. Godlike indeed is Mickey this game.
9 kills in 9 minutes.
Is he not? Really? 9-0-2. 11 of the 13 kills he's been involved in. He's gotten 9 of them himself. On top of that, as mentioned. And yeah, obviously, a team effort. Earth Spirit's been doing great as well with the roam. Pablo's been a nice job doing a stand-in play here. But Mickey's kind of been the star, no doubt, in this middle match. But like you pointed out, though, the draft mixed with the laning decision here, you kind of look back at how it began. Again, they sent Terrorblade middle lane. We're still not sure exactly why.
I really, really don't understand that. There was no way for him to survive in that lane.
Yeah. And if they were planning on that from the beginning, you know, pick a middle option then. Send Lone Druid bottom, but then pick another hero that can contest a little better against the Lina, if anything. Or did Prodota final pick, or was it? No, I'm blanking. It was a TeamEnt.
The Lina was the last pick.
The Lina was last. Okay, so that's fair, actually. Okay.
You could have flexed the lanes. Like,
True.
why wouldn't the Lone Druid just go mid? I get TB is not a great matchup into Darkseer, so they felt like they had to put him mid. But that's drafting yourself into a corner then. Because there were a lot of mids that would have done the same thing to a Terrorblade. Quap would have done the same exact thing. I mean, any of the nuking mids, honestly, would have just bodied this Terrorblade in the first few minutes. So, not really sure what the game plan was. I think they just drafted themselves into a corner pretty much from minute 1.
Radiant's top tower is under
13-2 lead. You got Phantom Assassin quietly doing his own thing at the top lane. Obviously, the bottom tower's already been pushed in. Cheshire Cat here on Darkseer is just massively pushing in the bottom lane, getting all the way to the secondary tower by himself, really, and starting to apply pressure. And then, oh yeah, and standing here in Crystal Maiden, he's in this game too. We haven't really seen him too much, but we're going to see him right here. Freezing Field coming out. That's a kill on a Lone Druid, most likely. Oh, maybe not. Omni Knight coming in with the repel, going to save the day for now. I still want to chase, but would be pretty greedy as Slaughter from the flank. He wants to go in, but he would be by himself, so he's just going to apply the corrosive haze, run back. No kills happening, but look at Prodota how much they're keeping attention down here at the bottom lane.
Yeah, they have total dominance of this game. I mean, and we're even seeing skill differences there. Like, the lone druid there had his bear at almost full HP, could have ran it at the CM and roared and stopped that freezing field and saved a lot of his HP. Wouldn't have changed anything in the end, but it's those little mechanical things that you start to notice that make the difference in a lot of this. That's why Mickey was out playing so hard.
Bottom being completely controlled here.
Darkseer has mech done. At 12 minutes, mech arcanes.
Yeah.
Your Lena's god mode, and your PA has Vlad's. You can run down almost any building in the game right now, and basically clear everything except going uphill by like 15 minutes.
Yeah, PA's 0, 0, and 0 in this game. He's been having fun playing World of Warcraft up here. Killing monsters. Looking to get involved in a battleground soon, but doesn't want to queue up just yet. Might be forced to here at the top lane, as they're all 5 coming up here for TeamEnt, and they would love to jump guard or get the free kill, but he just casually walks back.
Without a slaughter blink dagger, though.
Yeah,
Like
I said that before I really thought it out.
like they just can't. They cannot go. They cannot take a fight, and there's no reasonable way for them to do it in the future here. They've got to get the blink on Sarter, which is still 1,200 gold away.
They're just protecting the Terrorblade right now. They're doing a 4-1 strat. Protect the Terrorblade at the top lane this early on is never a good sign. You're not getting any farm on anyone else.
Yeah, there's not even a one-off farming somewhere else. This is so bad. You're committing 5 heroes to take a T1, and your entire other map is getting farmed.
Part of me wonders if they're even going to give this up on Prodota's side. I mean, if they really wanted to, they could fight this. But obviously they're pushing elsewhere. You got Darkseer pushing in the bottom lane, so yeah, they are just going to give it up. You have farm in the middle lane from Lena or Garter even. Here on the PA. Lena, does she have the Blink Dagger? Oh no, she actually ended up going the Soul Booster, so she is going to get actually the Bloodstone here. She had the Blink Dagger queued up, but figures, you know what, I'll just get a Bloodstone instead. Casual Bloodstone pickup here.
Yeah, just casually adding 400 health and 400 mana with the Soul Booster, no problem. It's only 14 minutes. Might as well just add 30% to my health.
Ro16 being attempted, actually, and I don't think Prodota's... I mean, you have to think Prodota's somewhat knowledgeable of this, but I guess they just don't care.
Yeah, they may know, or they may think that Ent is looking for some sort of 5-man smoke on someone, so they're trying to stay grouped. But in reality, they traded it for most of the tier 2. And it will probably fall to Garter here in a second, so...
Yeah. Okay, he has an Invis rune. I don't have any detection right now on the Radiant side this early on in the game, so okay, never mind. He's just going to open and farm the creep, so.
Yeah, they understand the position they're in. Literally, they don't have to do anything but shove, shove, shove. And as long as the pressure is being applied, they're in good shape.
Yeah, so it's like Terrorblade may start bulking up a little bit, but the rest of the heroes not doing so well. Look at Ogre Match at 800 net worth. I almost feel bad kind of pointing that out, but the struggles. He is level 6. He has that level 3 Bloodlust here, to be fair, so he is throwing that around and being useful in that sense. But not having the items here. Yeah.
Bloodlust, so interactive.
The Bloodlust.
Bloodstone almost done on Mickey, though, for another Blood Word, and once he picks that up, they really shouldn't be scared of dying. Between that and the mech on Darkseer, they're going to have to make big mistakes to lose more than one person in a team fight.
I just want to see him get an axe here on Mickey. Just follow this up with an axe. Just be crazy. Oh, what was that? That was Slaughter going down, meanwhile, over here. All right.
Like, Ags is not bad in Arena, but it generally is more of a late game pickup, like a 3rd or 4th item, because it pierces BKB. That's the primary benefit now. So generally, if you kind of buy the early game stuff first, that's going to help you get ahead more than the Ags. And then you go back for it once the BKBs start rolling in.
Yeah, but Repel.
Is Air Spirit going to find him?
And he does find him. Iron Shell help him with that. Oh!
That should let him TP out, though. If he just Sunder TPs right now.
He's not going to. He's still panic mode. He's still running. Oh. There's a Sunder. He's going for the turn kill. Vacuum Wall, though, comes out, and that's a dead Terrorblade.
I thought they vacuumed the break trees to start that. I don't know what I was thinking. But yeah, dead TB. And like Garter's sitting at the Radiant tier 2
Yeah.
with pretty much no one around, and they can't even look at going on him.
They're looking at him, but yeah, not going in on him. They're just so scared that somebody could be nearby, I guess. I mean, you look at the vision right here of the Radiant side, it's very minimal. Of course, they have one pretty aggressive in the jungle, but other than that, not dealing with too much. Other side for the Dire, their vision very aggressive as you would expect. No tier 3's dead just yet, though, so are unable to do the shrines here. You do have a blink, though, on Slaughter, and here comes the 5-man gank with the smoke. So they're going to try to make a play here. Maybe go for the PA. Yeah, they're going to jump him.
Top tower is under attack.
This is coming out. Here comes the boulder smash on through, and PA going to survive the vacuum in the background. No wall, though, from Cheshire Cat. That would have been a huge wall opportunity, but obviously not off cooldown. Earthspirit, meanwhile, barrel rolls away, and they're just completely retreating from this fight right now, trying to at least. Darkseer going to get caught again, though, and finally a casualty happening. So they end up getting 1 kill in the end, but we're not done just yet. Laguna Blade to snipe out Ogre Magi. And that, oh my god, that Dragon Save doing so much damage to the background. The LSA lands as well. The Guardian Angel's not going to save you through all of that magic damage. There's the Aegis pop onto Lone Druid, but as soon as Lena shows up, the godlike streak continues.
Wow. I mean, that was well done by the Terrorblade to get the Darkseer at least, and DS was honestly borderline trolling at that point. He just blinked into 4 of them for no reason, but still coming out for a 4-for-1, and Mickey at 17 Bloodstone charges. I don't know why he took the respawn talent over the light strike damage, because he's on an instant respawn already with his Bloodstone.
That's hilarious.
But, yeah.
We did see somebody. It was from the Manila Masters. There, it's the first game I think we got. We actually saw Lena in it, and he went Bloodstone first item, kind of like we saw here. And yeah, with the minus 30-second respawn time, it was insane. Like he literally would just run into a fight, knowing that he's gonna die, but he'd be up basically in like 1 or 2 seconds because of the cooldown on that. So
yeah, and that can be a nice tactical thing once you get Boots of Travel and can get yourself back in the fight, because you can just basically never be out. And hey, Boots of Travel flying in for Mickey. Damn, so good at this.
But like
yes.
you're suggesting, though, this is not a game, it feels like, where that makes sense to get. I mean, you're just so far ahead, you're snowballing. You would have been better off with the damage, for sure.
Radiant's top tower is
Just
under
in case, I guess, as there's a little bit of exchanging going on down here. Support for support, really. Mickey keeping his distance. Prodota, I mean, they're kind of having fun with this, too. We're in that kind of overtime phase. You can tell that they're very confident.
Radiant's top tower
Kind of doing some split pushing for no good reason. There's a vacuum. No wall even needed. It finally comes out, but on top of the LSA. Enough synergy right there to at least get 1 kill.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Yeah, this game is pretty much done and dusted. The Lundred denying his own bear, though. What a player.
There you go. Big plays coming out. Is that a TeamEnt? Boulder smash on through. Whiff right there. But really lacking that strong initiation. Of course, they do have the Slaughter with the Blink Dagger, but the follow-up seems a little not there. And, well, if you get caught first, that's not going to really help either. So he's dead. There's a Savage Roar to fear them off, though. Like I said, we got Phantom Assassin just pushing the top lane, though, this whole time. He's kind of continuing to play his own game up here.
Yeah, they're pressuring all sides of the map with this, which, while they're getting more gold out of this, they're making a bigger lead. It's prolonging the game longer than it needs to be. If they just group, there's borderline no way they lose a fight.
20 charges on that Bloodstone. The bots, I feel like he's had that Blink Dagger queued up like 3 separate times now, and he keeps changing his mind. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him yet again change his mind right here. But yeah, I think it's pretty obvious, kind of just going back to the beginning of this game. The draft is really where things went wrong. I mean, we knew that Prodota probably was the better team, and that's definitely turned out to be the case coming into it. So sure, there's that factor coming into play as well. But if you are,
we said that about the last 2 games.
It's true. And obviously the results were different. But yeah, if you're a lesser experienced team, such as TeamEnt seems to be here, you know, take the advice that you were even suggesting at the beginning with the draft, and how you kind of like putting yourself into an awkward moment there with that final pick, Terrorblade, as far as how you wanted to lane, especially. So
well, that's honestly something that takes practice and experience. So hopefully they do learn from this and they can grow as a team. Because until you go back and watch this replay, they probably don't even know that they lost this at the 3rd or 4th pick on draft. it takes time going back through and seeing, oh, we couldn't do anything here with our 5th pick to salvage this. And it's hard to have the forethought when you only have 30 seconds of pick and then 2 minutes of reserve.
See you, Lundgren.
Going in.
No!
No.
Gets the heal.
Nikkei might die here.
Yeah, he is dead, isn't he? Guess what? He's up in 1 second. Hey-oh.
The suicide bots right back into the wave.
I love it. I love this dice strat. They used to Sunder to save Lundgren as well as Purification there, by the
Radiant's
way. I
middle
mean,
tower is under
when that's
attack.
happening, it's just that there's so many of these cases. When this is happening, you know you're behind. Ay, ay, ay. Well, Lena died, so there's a positive. Or something. She is working on the eggs now, so she has a level 3 Laguna Blade, by the way. I saw it there. 850 magic damage once she gets the eggs. Turns into pure damage, as well as going through the magic effects, so... Looking at the life pool right now of these Radiant heroes. That's close to insta-kill for several of them. Easy combo kills for sure. Carter, he's like, alright, I'll just port out. No bash procs, he's good.
1 year he'll rejoin the team. 1 year. I don't know if it'll take 6
Radiant's
items,
bottom
but
tower is under attack.
we're waiting on the day.
Yeah. Prodota again, continuing to just kind of have fun with the whole situation here. As they
He's
do
like
get the
one of
kill
those
down there.
Tibetan monks that like goes into the mountains to train for years. He's just waiting to rejoin as a kung fu master.
Radiant's
It just
bottom
wrecks
tower
everything
has
once it
fallen.
comes in. It's like, that was unnecessary. Don't think we needed you at that level of god strength.
Ooh, thanks.
Yeah, you may get your hope if this game draws on though. We know with the Ags queued up, it is about that time.
Omni Knight. Get him killed. He has a Guardian Angel, but again with all the magic damage, is that
Radiant's
really going to be the
bottom
most threatening?
barracks are under attack.
Terrorblade, he's... Oh, there's that Guardian Angel. It is going to save against Carter, but not so much against Mickey. Double kill coming out. No buyback for Lundgren, by the way. This could be the beginning of the end. Phantom Assassin joining the team as he pops the BKB even in the midst of that.
Garters come down from the mountains,
Radiant's
once a
bottom
mortal, now a
barracks are
god.
under attack.
Striking through
Radiant's
this
bottom barracks
end
has fallen.
lineup. And yep, they're ready to call it. 24 minutes in. A swift bodying from
Dire
Prodota.
victory.
Wow.
Yeah, we said it often where one team was favored, and then we obviously had the opposite results. So overall, decent games, but this is definitely a case of one of the actual ones where there was just simply an outmatch here, no doubt. So Prodota feeling good about moving on, and they will play alternate attacks now in the next round. Of course, defeating Vega Squadron earlier on today, so as we saw. But all right, that's going to be the game we finish things on here for our first round coverage of the Dota 2 Champions League. So quite the stomp there. But overall, the games were actually